The Cypress structure has collapsed. 35238, we have a major injury accident, Cypress and West Grand.
Between 17th Street, as far as I can see, going towards...
A triangle-shaped wedge tears out of the asphalt and concrete-lined wall of the earth-filled dam of the Baldwin Hills Reservoir.
Engineering marvels are often hailed as symbols of human achievement. But what happens when these grand structures collapse under their own weight? Today, we're diving into some of the most massive engineering mistakes that have cost billions, showcasing failures that weren't just expensive, but devastating. From flawed designs to overlooked warnings, these stories serve as chilling reminders of the price we pay when engineering goes horribly wrong. The collapse of the Cypress Viaduct in the 1989 earthquake.
That is the Cypress section of the Nimitz Freeway, and you can see, oh my God, look at that. The freeway has just completely collapsed.
On October 17th, 1989, at 5:04 p.m., the San Francisco Bay Area was rocked by the Loma Prieta earthquake, measuring 6.9 in magnitude. Among the most devastating failures during the disaster was the collapse of a 1.4-kilometer section of the Cypress Street Viaduct, a double-decked freeway in Oakland, California. The collapse resulted in 42 fatalities, more than half of the total 63 deaths caused by the earthquake. The viaduct, constructed in the late 1950s, was built with reinforced concrete and featured 2 levels. The upper and lower decks were connected by columns and shear key connections, but the structure had critical flaws. The support columns lacked sufficient reinforcement, making them vulnerable to seismic stress. Additionally, the upper deck was not properly fastened to the lower deck in certain areas. During the earthquake, vibrations caused the pins connecting the decks to loosen, leading to the upper deck collapsing onto the lower one. The viaduct was built on soft bay mud, which amplified seismic vibrations, further contributing to its collapse. The collapse of the viaduct prompted an urgent re-evaluation of California's infrastructure, leading to stricter seismic safety standards and more resilient bridge designs. This tragedy underscored the importance of robust engineering in earthquake-prone areas. Meizhou Expressway collapse in China, May 2024. On May 1st, 2024, disaster struck the Meizhou Expressway in Guangdong Province, China. At around 2:10 a.m., a 17.9-meter section of the highway collapsed, sending 23 vehicles crashing down a steep slope. Tragically, 48 people lost their lives and 30 more were injured. The expressway, operational since 2014, had already faced issues, including a previous collapse in 2023 due to heavy rainfall. But this time, it was catastrophic. Torrential rains had drenched the region, with Dabu County receiving nearly 3 times its usual rainfall just weeks before the collapse. This excessive water weakened the soil, turning the embankment into a ticking time bomb. Investigations revealed that the embankment's design didn't adequately account for the prolonged rainfall, and there were no effective groundwater prevention measures in place. Additionally, poor construction management and overlapping regulatory responsibilities compounded the issue, leaving the road vulnerable. In the aftermath, Guangdong Province launched a disaster investigation team. Their report called for stronger safety measures, better risk monitoring, and improved weather response strategies. The Meizhou Dabu collapse is a stark reminder. Robust infrastructure and proactive maintenance are crucial to safeguarding lives. St. Francis Dam disaster, California, 1928. On March 12, 1928, at approximately 11:57 p.m., the St. Francis Dam, located in San Francisco Canyon, northwest of Los Angeles, catastrophically failed. The failure released over 12 billion gallons of water, resulting in a flood that devastated communities across a 54-mile stretch, ultimately reaching the Pacific Ocean. The disaster claimed the lives of at least 431 individuals, making it one of the most tragic civil engineering failures in U.S. history. The St. Francis Dam was built between 1924 and 1926 as part of the Los Angeles aqueduct system to augment the city's water supply. Designed by William Mulholland, The dam stood 185 feet tall and spanned 700 feet in length. However, after its completion, the dam showed signs of structural concerns. Seepage and cracking, particularly near the western abutment, raised alarms. Mulholland and his assistant, Harvey Van Norman, inspected these issues and deemed them typical for concrete structures. The failure began near the western abutment, likely due to weakened foundation materials, and rapidly escalated. The floodwaters surged down San Francisco Canyon, inundating towns like Fillmore and Santa Paula. The aftermath of the disaster led to investigations which identified major engineering misjudgments, including the unstable foundation and lack of geological assessments. In response, California overhauled its dam safety regulations to prevent future tragedies. Baldwin Hills Reservoir. Failure. California, 1963.
A triangle-shaped wedge tears out of the asphalt and concrete-lined wall of the earth-filled dam of the Baldwin Hills Reservoir. The water fills the 50-foot deep catch basin below the lip of the dam.
On December 14th, 1963, the Baldwin Hills Dam, located in the Baldwin Hills neighborhood of Los Angeles, California, catastrophically failed, releasing approximately 250 million gallons of water into the surrounding residential areas. The disaster resulted in the deaths of 5 individuals, the destruction of 65 homes, and extensive property damage. Constructed between 1947 and 1951 by the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, LADWP, the Baldwin Hills Reservoir was designed to supply water to the city's south and southwest regions. The reservoir was situated atop a hill, surrounded on 3 sides by earthen dikes and by the Baldwin Hills Dam, an earthfill structure reaching a height of 232 feet and a length of 650 feet. Several factors contributed to the dam's failure, including geological instability. The reservoir was built over known geological faults associated with the Inglewood oil field, and over-extraction of oil from the field led to ground subsidence, exacerbating the dam's structural vulnerabilities. Additionally, during routine inspections on the day of the failure, caretakers observed water seeping through the dam's foundation, signaling potential weaknesses. Despite attempts to alleviate pressure by draining the reservoir, the dam ultimately breached. The breach unleashed a torrent of water, flooding surrounding neighborhoods, including the Village Green community. Emergency responders swiftly carried out rescue operations, saving many residents from the floodwaters. The disaster led to a re-evaluation of dam safety regulations and engineering practices, particularly regarding the construction of dams over active fault lines and the impact of nearby oil extraction activities. Today, the site is part of the Kenneth Hahn State Recreation Area, serving as both a reminder of the event and a public recreation space. Skyscraper stability issues. Chicago.
Well, the site was meant to move you, but the tower itself might move just a bit too much. In a rare opportunity, CBS 2 Morning Insider Vince Gerasoli traveled to River East, where the Vista Tower is rising high through the winds of change.
In Chicago's architectural landscape, engineers have continually pushed the boundaries of innovation to tackle skyscraper stability challenges, particularly when it comes to wind-induced oscillations. These groundbreaking solutions not only ensure structural integrity, but also keep occupants comfortable, even on the windiest of days. Vista Tower's blow-through floor. The Vista Tower, a 101-story marvel under construction in Chicago, incorporates a game-changing feature known as a blow-through floor. Located on the 83rd floor, this double-height open space is designed to allow wind to pass through the building, reducing wind pressure and minimizing sway. This innovative design was born from wind tunnel testing, which confirmed that it would be an effective way to dissipate wind forces, creating a smoother experience for those inside. Water-filled sloshing dampers in Vista Tower. To take stability to the next level, Vista Tower also boasts 6 water-filled sloshing dampers, containing over 400,000 gallons of water. These dampers work by moving in opposition to the building's motion, helping to combat sway and providing better comfort and safety for occupants. 2 of these dampers are integrated into the blow-through floor, with additional dampers placed on the 97th and 99th floors, ensuring maximum stability. John Hancock Tower's tuned mass dampers. In Boston, the John Hancock Tower faced similar wind challenges when it was completed in 1976. Engineers installed tuned mass dampers on the 58th floor, large masses mounted on springs that counteract the building's movement, reducing oscillations and keeping the structure stable. These engineering marvels highlight the creativity and skill involved in designing skyscrapers that are not only safe but also incredibly comfortable, even when the wind is howling. These catastrophic failures didn't just leave behind wreckage, they left behind lessons. The damage may be irreversible, but the knowledge gained is invaluable. Remember, when it comes to engineering, it's not just about building, it's about ensuring safety, integrity, and foresight. If you found these stories as eye-opening as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more shocking tales of engineering gone wrong.